What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out another AITA story. So am I overreacting for not wanting my husband's best friend near after what I found out? So this was February 20th, 2025. I feel like I'm going crazy and I need a fresh perspective before taking the next step. I discovered that my husband, 37 male, and his best friend, 36 female, had a sexual relationship that lasted throughout high school years and multiple relationships. So multiple relationships means that if it lasted through multiple relationships, that means whenever the other person was in a relationship, they still had their thing going on. Now I already have questions like, how do you know it has not happened during your own relationship? And your relationship was just one of those, but this is a long one and I apologize for that. Apparently it was a non-secret in their circle of friends. Let me start from the beginning.
Yeah, boy.
I met my husband during the last year of college. He comes from a very small town and has the same group of friends since elementary school. I used to find it endearing, now I feel sick. His best friend used to be his deskmate in kindergarten, like actual babies, no teeth in the mouth, since they've known each other. He used to talk about her a lot before I met her, mostly fun, endearing, and childhood memories. Honestly, I was a bit jealous at the beginning. He had all these memories and shared friends with her. He even had a special nickname for her, Pokey. I let go of my worries when I met her. Pokey was not like the horrible female best friend in the movies. She was always supportive and sweet. She's a cake designer and she gifted us our wedding cake and made a beautiful speech. Okay, I already feel weird about that, but like my mind is racing and it's like, whose idea was the speech? But okay, calm down. This is therapy session and we're not here to judge people. I mean, we're here to judge, but not really. Still, there was a part of me that always felt a bit uneasy. Me and my husband never really talked about past relationship, mostly because I didn't want to focus on the past. But more like you didn't want to know. You didn't want to know. You're saving your peace to enter the marriage. But I feel like these are things that you need to deal with before the marriage, so you know exactly what you're walking into, even if it makes you uneasy.
Yes, exactly.
But in general, from what he let slip, he was a bit of an a-hole as a teenager. In particular, his friends sometimes talked about how it's incredible how their group survived the summer of madness. I would want to know what that means. I always assumed that some kind of high school drama happened, and that was until I discovered what it was about. I was out with one of my husband's friend's wife, Gertrude. Gertie told me something about how she admired me for being so secure in my marriage, even with the one that got away in the picture. I was confused. I told her that I didn't understand what she was talking about, and then she told me, oh, I thought you knew about Pokey and Maurice, which Maurice being her husband. I think I died a little hearing that. I kind of feel like she knew, and her gut feeling must have told her, and she was just happy to be in cloud nine. Like, I see the way you look at each other, it doesn't make me happy. I see the way you really care for each other, but like, I don't want to know. Don't tell me until someone told her, and she's like, I died inside. She proceeded to tell me about how they basically effed through high school years, how Pokey was my husband's first everything, and how they cheated every single boyfriend or girlfriend they had during that period with the other. So, like I said, during their relationships. It means when, say, Pokey was having a relationship with a boyfriend, she still had Maurice on the side, and then Maurice always had her on the side, even if he had a girlfriend. Now my question is, has that stopped?
I don't know. I just got here.
The famous Summer of Madness was the last summer of high school. Apparently, the whole group was fighting because some were done with their behavior while others kept covering for them. What's worse is that it all ended because Pokey put a stop to it. She chose a college kilometers away from their hometown and stopped talking to my husband for a whole year. After the revelation, I confronted Pokey. Why? I don't like when women feel like, it's the other woman who's at fault, whereas The whole human you married and signed to documents with to be his wife forever, to love and to hold, was the one lying to you. So she confronted Pokey, and that I don't think that's good. Alright, she says, I shouldn't have, but I was so angry and humiliated. I kind of feel that, like, you've always been smiling at me when I've probably been looking stupid in your eyes.
Nice.
I didn't want her near me or my husband. I kept thinking about how they shared everything, about how not even our intimacy is truly ours. It drives me insane. She obviously told my husband, and we've been fighting since then. Okay, at this point, it's like, you were supposed to, I don't know, fight Pokey, which you probably shouldn't have, but like, if that's how you're feeling, do that. But he should have been the next target. So it's not even Pokey who has to be like, you're not supposed to stay away from my husband. You're supposed to go and tell the man or the husband that you have. That's where the real fight should have been. So he's telling me over and over that there's nothing between him and Pokey. In his opinion, I'm overreacting to something that happened about 20 years ago and has been closed and ended. But I feel like I can never trust the two of them together. Am I wrong? So she posts these, and there's comments that she answered. The first comment was like, what happened when she confronted Pokey, whose idea was the wedding speech? That's what I was really pissed about. She was surprised but calm, which made me even more mad. She told me she thought my husband had told me about it and it was not her place to talk about it. To be fair, Pokey's right. Before a marriage, it's the two people that are talking. It's not like you go and meet the strange, like, hey, did you sleep with my husband for, like, anything that's mentioned before we get married? He's the one who is supposed to have a conversation with her. She told me to talk to my husband, but that unless he told her to stay low contact, she would not do anything. She was his best man. So yeah, she gave the speech. Okay, makes sense. But like, yo, that's disgusting. Your ex is your best man. And very disrespectful. Like, already see like he doesn't respect her. Very disrespectful to your current wife. To make your ex your best man, and they give a speech at their current. Oh, even if they were paying for the wedding, they still wouldn't be attending. Sorry. The next question that a comment posted was like, how long into the relationship did Opie get to meet Pokey? Was the Pokey was the Pokey a sexual nickname? And the person commented saying that no, it's something from their childhood, that just her husband and her father calls her that, which is like super sweet, but it should be like her Pokey's actual husband and her father calling her that, not a whole new stranger. And it's not even like, oh, all her friends call her that, just Maurice calls her that. You would have a problem with that. And she was okay with marrying him after all of this. So another person said, did they actually date? And the person responded by saying they did not actually date, they were just having their on and off situationship. Another question was, how did the husband react to saying, hey, I don't want you near Pokey, period? So the girl responds by saying, the thing is, their group of friends are very, very close. I'll be uncomfortable with that. I was not used to that. Pokey works at a bakery and everyone, Maurice too, goes there for breakfast and lunch break. They have game nights and movie nights and brunches and dinners, so they see each other a lot. Pokey lives down the road and she and Maurice take the dogs out every evening, every flipping evening. Like, they literally have a date.
Yes, exactly.
Maurice told me to not make him choose. Oh God, when someone says that, choose yourself, sweetheart. It is a choice by saying don't make me choose. They have already made the choice. Why they tell you don't make me choose? Yeah, they've chosen the other person and they just don't want to tell you. So please, be graceful enough to leave.
Absolutely.
That he barely remembered the time when he didn't have her in his life, that it should not come to this. Like, hey, don't make me choose. You wouldn't like the answer. Okay. Another person asked if Pokey was actually married, and they say yes, she was. She and her ex divorced a couple of years ago. She wanted children and he didn't, and the divorce was not pretty.
I mean, obviously.
Now, apparently her ex knew what happened between Pokey and Maurice, which I think it's like a couple's conversation to have for the nth time. She told her ex about Maurice. She's not dating at the moment, but she dated the guy briefly in the past. No, me and Maurice are child-free. That's a wrap. We don't need to talk about this anymore, right? Because it's like, it's easy to cut because he has chosen someone else over you, and their life is just, it feels like you inserting yourself into their whole town and their whole friendship, situationship kind of thing, and you always feel like the outsider, even if you give that man 100 children. So she came in and gave additional information about Poki after reading a comment. So a lot of people are asking me why I got angry at Poki and not my husband. Me too. First, I am angry at Maurice. I can barely stand in the same room. Second, I feel childish, but I am jealous of her. It's not very childish. It's like very adulty to admit that, okay, this is how I feel. So that's good on her to be able to admit that. Now, I didn't grow up like Maurice. I barely remember the people I went to middle school with, which probably should be what adulting is. To me, friends are something different. He had this girl that knew every single thing about him, that shared adventures, Christmases, birthdays, families, and friends. It was a lot. I knew she was important to him, so I tried my best. At least I had his love first. Turns out she had that too.
Come on now, dog.
I was mad. Was it right? No, but at the moment she was the focus of my rage. Makes complete sense. Because it's like, oh, okay, it's okay. You guys have always been friends. Nah, I don't see it. I think I'm going to ask you the question, like point blank. It should be that you lie to my face, and I would always be able to read a lie. So, and you're just gonna see like this guy and this girl, and they're so close, and then you're like, they never ever dated. Nah. No, and it drives me insane. Why can't he say that he was in love with her? It's plain. She was his first love, but no, I don't get it, and he's delusional. So she comes back 2 days later with an update. Hi guys, first of all, thanks for all the responses and the messages and the support I got. Currently, I feel like I don't really have friends I can trust because everyone knew that and no one told you unless one of the friends who is probably sort of an outsider, just like her, like the core outsider, told her like, hey, I'm kind of proud of you. So all of those people that she felt like these are our friends, they're actually his friends. I don't have friends I can trust, but at least I can have some validation from you. This is a link to the previous episode. So I have a small update and things don't look good. I expected that. I had a pretty big fight with my husband last night. He went to the casual Friday night game. When everything is happening.
Come on, man.
Some of you asked me about that. He and his friends had two types of game nights. One is normally on Fridays, as most of them don't work during the weekend. It's a group thing and they play some kind of D&D. Usually it's hosted by Andrew, another 37 male, who is the master of the campaign. Then there are sporadic game nights in which some of them play video games and chat.
Okay.
In that case, the number of people are variable. As I said last night, Maurice went to play D&D. I asked if Poki would be there. Obviously, she would be. He was annoyed and told me yes. I asked if he had seen her these days. He told me that he went to get coffee and some of the guys, and that Thursday he went to grab lunch. Like, boys... Bro is literally doing business like normal. So whatever she's feeling or whatever fight or whatever they're going through doesn't really bother him. He's like, fine. A regular Thursday for him. And a regular Friday, it seems. I was pissed, so I raised my voice, obviously. Well, you shouldn't be raising your voice, but like, it makes sense. Anyone would be mad by that. I was pissed, so I raised my voice and asked why he can't stay away from her, at least for now. He told me, and I quote, I can, but I'm not going to cater for your tantrum. I didn't do anything, so I'm not going to act like I'm guilty or something. Your partner being upset by you, absolutely hiding a whole relationship for her and getting her into a marriage with all of this stuff is a tantrum to him. Good thing they don't have kids. I reiterated that I don't want her in our life now that I know, and he asked me what do I want him to do. It's a small town and we are neighbors. All of my friends are her friends. Unless we move, we're gonna have contact. So I told him that maybe we should move. Maybe we should start over in a place where I can trust people, not everyone looking at you like, you just feel them. I don't know how to explain it, but you just feel them like laughing at you and calling you stupid in their mind.
Absolutely.
Now, he told me I'm insane. That's not a normal word to say to someone, like maybe, okay, I wouldn't want to leave, but he told me I'm insane, that he's not going to sell his grandma's house that he loves and move somewhere away from his family and friends just because I feel insecure, and to grow the F up. I stormed into our room and he went to his friends. That's one thing that I kind of noticed. He has all of his friends and his support. Like, he can go there and he'll probably go and talk to them about it, which is another chapter. Like, it's another therapy session, but he's probably going to talk to them about it, which he shouldn't be, because it's literally because of the situationship. And it's sort of making the wife look stupider. When he came back, he started gaming on his PC instead of coming to bed. I could hear him talk, so I went to the living room. I asked him who he was playing with. Oh, why are you hurting yourself? Because I'm pretty sure I know who he's playing with. I kid you not. He was playing Call of Duty and chatting with Pokey and Andrew. He was with her just a couple of hours before I asked him to come to bed. He told me he had to finish the game and that he needed to vent frustration. What did I say? He has his friends to talk to, even though the friends are the problem right now. I'm not proud of me, but I raised my voice again and said something like, can you even breathe without seeing her for 10 minutes? Oh, they're probably hearing over the mic, right? Nah, I'm not going to embarrass myself that way. You're just putting someone you're making someone, like, if there's a situation that does not suit you, remove yourself from the whole situation. Instead of making someone, if I'm Pokey, I'll be feeling really good about myself. There's someone who is literally dying or killing herself because of me. So I'll be feeling really pretty and nice and like, I don't know, it's petty, but that's how I'm feeling. So I wouldn't want someone I'm like, oh, please stop. Don't let her know that you're pissed, which is why you shouldn't have attacked her in the first place. But the problem with that is, even if she didn't want the girl to find out, her beloved husband would go and tell them. Now, he didn't even look at me. He just told me, if you're gonna make a scene, tell me now so I can turn off the mic. I feel like he just keeps embarrassing her in front of his friends all the time. I slept in the guest room. This morning, Joaquin, the friend that worked in my office, came and talked to me. Apparently, Maurice had told them everything Friday.
Are you serious right now, bro?
I told you the venting was not a good thing. He was venting. He told me that Gertrude thrives in drama, and that's why she opened that can of worms. Were there worms in it? Yeah, so thank you, Gertrude, for bringing it out. Now, he assured me that there's nothing between Pokey and Maurice. He's one of the friends. How can we trust you? And that this situation will become an issue just if I make it one. I asked him what he meant, and he told me, you married him, you know how he is. Maurice is like emotionally dependent on Pokey or whatever. Someone opening his mouth and telling you those words about your husband. So I don't want someone to be emotionally dependent on me and then he's emotionally dependent on a whole new other person that he probably claims he's not in love with, doesn't want to date, hasn't married her, but they go on walks every day, they're in each other's life. It's just like, nah, she's not your sister because of what happened between them before. So I'm pretty sure that Opie had already said, okay, he always wanted a sister, and that's what she was putting in her mind until she found out she wasn't actually a sister. So if she killed someone, he would dig a hole and help her hide the body. If you want this marriage to work, just learn to coexist. Hell no. Everyone deserves better than that.
Absolutely.
I asked him if he thinks Maurice still loves Pokey. He told me that maybe I should ask my husband because he doesn't know. Obviously, he doesn't know. Because he's just trying to help. Like, sweetheart, this is not going to happen. You cannot separate them. Accept it or walk out. At this point, I just can't let this go. I feel like a crazy paranoid woman, but I just can't let this go. You shouldn't. I asked Gertrude out for lunch Wednesday and I begged her to tell me everything she knows because I need to know. Still, I'm scared of what I'll learn. Nah, that's not... I don't feel like that's going to be okay for anyone's mental health. 10 days later, she comes back with an update. Hello guys, first of all, thank you for all the messages and the chat a lot of you sent me. I wish I could send her loves because this is not healthy for anyone's mental health. And it's a good thing she doesn't have a kid. Like, she really needs a weekend out of town to like process this stuff because it's already really insane. And she just needs to decide. It's simple. You have to stay and accept it. Like, this guy is always going to love that person, and then you'll be second, because there's people who are fine with that. Or if you're like me, I'm not about to live this one tiny life that I have, being the second wife to someone else's husband, because there's like 9 billion people. There's definitely people out there that's going to give her the world, and this boy is giving the world to Pokey, not her. Thanks for checking on me. I'm sorry I didn't reply, and also for updating so late, but I needed time to think and sort myself. Some of you pointed out how I was spiraling and acting kind of crazy. You were right, I was. It was hard to admit that I was doing as much damage as Maurice in the situation, and it was even harder to realize that maybe a marriage has more issues than what I thought. Yeah, it kind of does. I'll start by saying that I never went to that lunch. After our fight Friday night, my husband spent Saturday at his mother's house. She lives 30 minutes from us with her new husband. He stayed there the whole day, and I discovered from his story on IG that he took his 2-step siblings to the laser game and then to dinner. He also took them to Pocky's bakery for dessert.
I know what to do with him.
I don't know, I'm just laughing because I'm so pissed. He keeps adding like salt on the injury each time. It's like, I don't want to hear the name, but he went to Pocky's house to get oxygen. I don't want to hear the name, but he went to Pocky to do this or that. He had clearly said that he didn't care for my discomfort, so it's not like I was expecting much. I ignored him when he came back later, that I just didn't want to fight again. He came to me and told me that we should talk. You think? Well, I didn't say anything. He told me that he was sorry for being an a-hole the day before. Well, like the entire fight, the entire marriage, he's been an a-hole for that. When I didn't say anything, he told me that he was sorry for being an a-hole the day before, that he had started to sound like his father and he hated it, and that the last thing he wanted was for our marriage to be like the ones his parents had. I told him that he dismissed my feelings, and that by still going to Pokey, he kept doing it, and that I felt completely disrespected, which is something that he should know. He's not like a child. He knows exactly what he was doing.
Yes, exactly.
I tried to explain as calmly as I could how hurt I was to know that A, about their past by someone else, B, that everyone around me knew and never told me anything up until now. I explained that I felt like a stranger because our friends suddenly reminded me that they were his friends, exactly, with their behavior, and that I feel like I can't trust anyone around me because none told me the truth except Gretchen. Well, she might have done it for the drama, but at least she saved you. Then I asked him point blank if he still loved Pokey and why he kept everything a secret, and that's when he told me the truth. And oh boy, I was not ready. Maurice basically confessed that he had loved Pokey like crazy, like let's elope even if we're 16, and stupid level of crazy. But his parents were divorcing during that time, and it was incredibly ugly and violent. So his teenager mind decided that love was dangerous, that by having a relationship you lose the people you love. Okay, I had noticed this is an adult, but he's sort of acting like a teenager. When she said that they go out for like walks every night, she lives around, they go to lunch and everything, I was like, it's just like keeping the person you actually love close to you and then preserving your relationship with them by not getting into like an actual romantic relationship with them. Like, you love somebody too much, you're too scared to break whatever it is, you're like, you know what, let's be friends, so I'm sure I'll have you forever in my life, as opposed to let's get in a romantic relationship where things can get ugly. I was already sensing that type of feeling because they still see each other, they still have like such a close bond and game nights and everything. They're just, well, allegedly not effing each other anymore. But who knows? Let's keep going.
Oh my god, thank God.
So when he explains this stuff, it kind of like put everything together. You're gonna never have a relationship with someone important to you, in his case, Pokey. Now, he admitted that it was stupid, but I wasn't exactly the smartest kid. He couldn't stay away, but he also couldn't bear to lose her if an eventual relationship would implode. So they stayed in this limo until the summer of madness.
Okay.
Pokey was already pretty tired of the situation, but then she discovered that she was pregnant. They have a kid? Wait, it was Maurice's because at the time she was single, and as stupid teenagers, they weren't using protection. I was already shocked as it is, but to hear my child-free husband say that he had wanted that baby the moment Pokey showed up in his room with a drugstore test left me speechless. Like, there's too many, this person needs help. So I asked what happened, and he told me that 2 weeks after finding out she lost the baby. Ouch. They were still trying to come up with a way to talk to their families in his room when it happened. Oh, that's horrible. She got appendicitis, and somehow it got her tubes inflamed and caused her pregnancy loss. He told me that his worst memory is calling Pokey's mom and his mom from the hospital while hearing Pokey's cries from behind the door of her room. Maurice also told me that was pretty much the moment he became child-free. He told me, I never want to hear someone I love cry like that ever again. Also, because of that pregnancy loss, it has become impossible for Pokey to have children without planning and medical help. That's why her divorce was so brutal. Most of their friends don't know. They still think that she just got appendicitis, and then, which is why the other guy explained like she went away for 1 year. Maurice told me that after what happened, she ran off to uni, avoiding him and pretty much the whole town for a year. He told me how confused and lonely he felt and how much he missed her. Not the girl he loved, but his best friend. That's the same thing. The one who knew me better than myself and that I could always count on. So when she reached out when Maurice's grandma died, he pretty much promised her that they'll never put themselves in a situation like that again. Okay, I'm getting chills reading this now. It's like, I don't know, but it's like sweet and almost like a good valid reason, but I do not want to be part of your situation. This should have been dumped on her before they got married. This is much for me to read. Then I cannot imagine a person living through this, that they'll just be friends and nothing more, and that's what they have been. He told me that he'll always love her, but that whatever they had is done, and he married me and loves me, and that's what should matter. Not enough, sorry. When I asked him if he's willing to see Pokey less and have a different kind of friendship for my sake, he told me that while he loves me, he values his friends enough to not cut them off. He told me after 13 years together, I should know this about him. They've been together for that long. I thought it was like a 5-year relationship. Oof. So I told him that after 13 years, I should matter enough. I packed a bag and told him I was going to visit my grandparents because I needed time, and that's where we are. I took some time from work and I'm still at my parents'. It's a lot and I still don't know how to feel. I'm mostly just empty. Oh. So that's where we're at. But it's really hard. What would you do? First off, this is super horrible and this person absolutely needs help right now. But, and to be fair, I kind of, like, all I can see is Maurice and Pokey having a family meeting that, do you approve of me telling her all of this information? And Pokey's like, yes, you may go. And that just churns my stomach. So I feel like Opie needs to sit this one out, or just accept that she's always like I don't know, one of the friends said, coexist. She's always going to be number one. He's never going to choose you, and he already said that. And he's not ready to give up his little friend clique, and she's always going to be an outsider. They don't have kids. There's nothing there. I feel like there's nothing, for me, I'll feel like there's nothing there that's mine. Like, oh, these are my kids. This man gave me my kids. Okay, that's annoying, but I can live with that. I'm never going to have his love. I have my kids, and they're going to love me, and this is... But she's never going to fully have him. And there's people who are fine with that. They love the man too much, and they're like, it's okay if he just stays faithful to me, hopefully. But I could bet you that it will not take a full year for, if she decides to leave, for Pokey and Maurice, well, now he's single, she's single, to get in a relationship, and they'll have kids, because now Pokey wants kids and Maurice will do whatever Pokey wants. But let me know what you guys will do in the comments. At this point, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm sitting this one out. No, thank you. She's still very young. she can definitely find someone who's going to treat her like the queen that she is, because tomorrow's Pokey is a queen and she's always going to be that. He has this fairy tale in his mind that he's still acting like 15 and he's still acting like a 16-year-old, and that's who he's always going to be. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.